Swadika and welcome to Voice of the Nation special interview. Today you are with me, Nina Nirasha Malisak. And today we are going to discuss about the trade situation between China and Thailand, as China is Thailand's biggest export market, especially for fruit. Export for Thai fruits to China rose from 91 billion baht in 2020 to 160 billion baht in 2021, with durian exports accounting for 100 billion baht alone. And Thailand also ships large quantities of other goods to China, such as vegetables, orchids, and rubber. And despite all this, Thai exporters are now facing many challenges, such as transportation, trade checkpoints, and many more. So today we're going to discuss about what are the challenges they are facing and solutions or advice for Thai exporters of this year. So please welcome Kun Prasong Awlan, Deputy Secretary General from the Thai Chinese Chamber of Commerce. สวัสดีค่ะ
Okay. First of all, allow me to say that today I'm speaking on behalf of Kun Narongsak Puthapon Mongkol, the president of the Thai Chinese Chamber of Commerce. I actually spent a few hours going over different issues and topics about Thai-China relationship, and I think we have quite a number of answers to answer your questions today. First of all, about the trade.
Yes, please. Could you please talk about the overall situation first of the Sino-Thai trade of this year?
Okay. Thailand and China have enjoyed a very good relationship over the past decades. In fact, over the past 9 years, China has been our number one trading partner in the world.
Yes.
For 9 consecutive years, 9 years in a row. Last year, 2021, our bilateral trade expanded by 30%. China makes up about 20% of the Thailand's total trade, which is really a big amount, considering the fact that the world is getting bigger. So regarding the situation this year, starting the first 2 months, January and February 2022, our bilateral trade still grew 16%, about $17 billion. Exports increased by almost 5%. Imports increased by almost 22%. So as you can see, right now we have a trade deficit with China around $6.8 billion. And that would be an overall trade situation between Thailand and China.
But for right now, there are a lot of challenges that the Thai exporter experience, whether to be the checkpoints or transportations. What are the challenges right now that Thai exporters are facing?
Okay. I think I need to elaborate a little bit more. Thailand has been faced with in fact, the whole world has been faced with the COVID crisis over the past more than 2 years now. And now we are faced with the Ukraine crisis.
And the Ukraine-Russian war.
The two combined impact on the world's economy and Thailand as well is increasing, and I think is becoming a worry issue.
Would this impact Thai exporters?
Yes, of course, because I think the situation has 2 effects. First, the world economy, with the situation going on like this, the world economy will likely slow down. And Thailand is an export country. If the world economy slows down, our export is likely to slow down as well. Second, the big issue as well, the situation because of the COVID crisis and the Ukraine crisis, which is also an energy crisis. So the two factors combined create an increasing impact on the world's economy, and Thailand has been affected to quite a degree. So we are faced with the predictable challenges, but we can say unpredictable because we don't know to what degree, but we can say predictable challenges because they are quite obvious. So we have to be prepared. The slow economy, the Thai GDP is likely to slow down to about 2-3%. World economy slow down, Thai exports slow down. So that obviously will affect the Thai. The crisis in Ukraine also keeps pounding
Another main issue.
the seriousness of the matter. So we're going into the second month, but we can feel the impact already. Slowing economic growth, and the situation is sending ripple effects to the world economy and Thailand as well, because we're part of the world. We are export-oriented country, so that's an effect. The agricultural sector is faced with the increasing costs in chemical fertilizers, petroleum for
Transportation.
Yes, and it's a big problem for the huge population of Thailand, the farmers. So just the other day, I got the news update from Sutichai. The missile Houthi by Yemen hit Aramco. So that's another part of the increasing problem. Looks like we are faced with the energy crisis as well.
What will be the proposed solutions so far for these challenges that the Thai exporters may be facing in the next probably few months?
So, okay, I think there's still one more point. That's the world travel and tourism also
Yes.
affected the three main components of the world economy. So we have to consider from the point of view that Thailand has depended on tourism for a long number of years. Before the crisis, we had like 40 million plus travelers and tourists coming to Thailand. Slightly more than 10 million came from China. So that's the big impact right there. So what should we do and look for? The opportunities, I think we have to look for the markets to make up for the losses. But it's not easy in the situation like this. Middle East could be a potential business opportunity, but ASEAN is an important part of our economy as well because we do a lot of business with ASEAN. And ASEP, I think eventually everything will come down to ASEP because ASEP actually was the ASEAN +3 and +2, making up 15 countries, member countries. Already 10 out of 15 countries have ratified the ASEP agreement, and meaning that all the tariffs will be eliminated already we
Mhm.
starting from this year, January the 1st,
Yeah.
the tariffs, about 90% of all the traded goods, the
Yes.
tariffs have been eliminated. So that is a good thing.
Mhm.
Eventually, we will have to be part of the ASEAN.
Okay.
That's no question. I believe that's the way to go.
And back in terms of the challenge that the Thai exporters facing, for example, at the trade checkpoints, as over the past year, Beijing's strict zero COVID policy has affected
Mm.
border trading at many checkpoints. And there are ongoing negotiations, for example, to allow more than 400 Thai exporters that are certified with the good manufacturing practices plus license and have been trained about China's COVID restrictions to pass through checkpoints without having to open every container for double inspection. So far, what are the developments?
Okay. This is where the CCIC comes in.
CCIC, which stand for China Certification and Inspection Groups.
Yes. Okay. It's an official arm to reach out to the member countries to help speed up the export process. Ease of doing business in a sense. It's just like we have the Customs Department of China set up in Thailand. We have CCIC Thailand, which will help and has been helping a lot of Thai exporters, big and medium Thai exporters, particularly
SMEs.
in the fields of fruits and vegetables. So basically, all the perishable items, the process can be much quicker, easier, and cost less headache because they set up CCIC Thailand to inspect, give the certificate of origin, process, and speed up the whole shipment. So once the shipment arrives in China, no need to be checked again at different checkpoints. In the
So,
past, there have been some big problems.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they
So
don't need to go through the process again and again.
the whole process is cut short, just like having the Chinese official custom department set up in Thailand and helping the Thai exporters, particularly the small and medium enterprises who still need help. And I think that is a good thing. And in the future, it will help all the Thai exporters already, like, durian, mangosteens, mangoes, etc. Uh, everything is going smoothly, much
What are
better.
the requirements to go through the CCIC for the Thai exporters? Are there any requirements?
And they set up the office in Thailand. Kun Patwong is the deputy managing director. All Thai exporters, big and small, can get direct contact with him and proceed from there. It's not, they help educate, they had big seminar, online seminar as well, to help the Thai exporters to understand the Chinese regulations and understand the shipment process and the customs process.
So they can visit to the website.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I think it's called CCIC Thailand.
CCIC Thailand. Okay.
Yeah.
And apart from fresh fruits, what are other goods from Thailand that China is interested in? Also, are there any potential goods that could be the apart from the fruits, the next golden items to export to China, that's something that doesn't have the life expand, because like fruits, they have life expand. By the time they arrive, maybe they will be ripened or rot. Are there any potential goods item in Thailand that could be the next items?
The electrical appliances, okay, and telephone, cell phones, etc. They are good items. I think in the future, more and more will set up the manufacturing or processing operations in Thailand. But we have to wait a little bit until the COVID situation is back to normal. Then we can move a lot quicker. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But so far, how are the developments right now? Still slowing down due to the COVID-19 situations?
Well, let me put it this way. The travel industry has been so slow over the more than 2 years now. And we hope that before the end of the year, China will open up the country and let the Chinese travelers and tourists come to Thailand. That would be a good kick-off. But also, good news is that Thai government has already announced that starting from April, the test and go will be kept to the minimum. Okay, no need to have the pre-arrival COVID tests.
Yes, but they still have to do it in Thailand.
Yes, but better than to do it both overseas in Thailand and 5 days later. So the process will help. At least for those people who want to come to Thailand, it's going to be easier. But hopefully, many countries already have started to open up their countries to the full extent. So hopefully, Thailand will do the same in the future.
The Chinese tourists back.
We need something to really kick off the movement again. We have to get going.
Mm-hmm. And could you please talk about the China-Laos Railway? Will this really benefit Thailand, or will this instead hurt the Thailand's agricultural economy and the competitiveness of the small and medium enterprises, as the Nong Khai Gateway is not yet ready for trading? What are the challenges and solutions to this problem?
Okay, we have to understand that Thailand, by geography, is really the hub of the upper ASEAN. But for the past years, Thailand has been the missing link. China has developed some railway system, the high-speed railway from Kunming to Laos and all the way down to Vientiane. But we need to bridge and complete it. So we are the missing link. I think that will help because it will open up the new market opportunities for Thailand, make the transportation cost lower, quicker, and open up new markets. Even at the provincial levels in China, it's a big market. Canton is more than 100 million people. Big provinces offer many good opportunities. So I think the China-Laos railway is part of the big picture. we are the missing link. We will bridge the markets from China all the way down to Thailand, down to Singapore, Malaysia, Singapore to Myanmar, and even go east and west further.
So
I
right
think,
now, I mean, in the future, it will surely benefit Thailand, but right now, the Thai exporters are facing some challenges with this. As I mentioned, that the Nong Khai Gateway is not yet ready for trading. Are there any developments on this for the Thai exporters, so they are prepared for that?
well, we cannot do the speed train, high speed train, but we have to do the normal train, normal forwarding channels up to Nong Khai, and then bridge with the China Laos Railway. So it's still part of the shipment process, but it's not that convenient and it's not
Yes.
very fast. For many goods items, we need a quicker shipping method.
And for how long do the Thai exporters have to experience this situation?
I'm not sure because in order to bridge the gap or complete the missing link, we need the high-speed train as well. So
Okay.
that's going to take some time, I think.
And should Thailand rely heavily on China as the main export country? Or are there any market opportunities, just like what you mentioned to earlier, Middle Eastern opportunities, for example? As so far right now, China is our main export country. What if one day they don't prefer our fruits anymore?
It's easier said than done, okay? Because we need big economies to help push the world, particularly the emerging markets. We depend on the US, the EU markets, and the China's market. But right now, we're part of Asia, and Asia is a big continent. More than 1/3 of the population and world economy lies in Asia. And the key of the Asia, the solution of the future is ASEAN. Well, ASEAN has been established for I don't know how many decades. Okay,
More
it,
than 50 years.
yes, and from Seattle, right? When I was a little boy, and we developed into ASEAN, and the ASEAN, were the driving force to move forward to have ASEAN +1 +2 +3, and now it's +5. Why we have to keep adding? Because we know that as a nation in the ASEAN, we still need the big economies to help push the regional cooperation. Without the big economies like China, we cannot do it alone. So like EU, you know how many member countries in EU now? According to the last count, I think it's 28, and they have 44 nations. So already 2/3 of Europe is part of EU. NAFTA, they have USA as the main driving force. So the world has NAFTA, EU, and ASEAN. We cannot escape from ASEAN, really speaking, because we are in Asia. The geography we cannot change. So we have to depend on
Our
ASEAN.
neighboring countries and
Yeah.
our seven ASEANs as well as
Yeah.
China. Okay. And lastly, what would be your advice for Thai exporters for this year, or even to be permanently prepared for the unpredictable challenges?
Predictable challenges, but unpredictable in a sense that we don't know for sure to what degree it will have to impact. We know that the Ukraine situation
COVID as well.
will create the impact, the energy crisis to a degree. How far, we don't know for sure. We know the inflationary pressure on the world's economy and Thailand as well. We have Thai Chinese Chamber of Commerce index, sentiment index, and we survey every quarter. For the past few quarters, we have detected that the inflationary pressure has been the problem, and the Thai private sector is likely to, because of the increasing costs in goods and services, we will have to increase the prices. It's the cost push problem. Over the next
price hike up.
Over the next 3 months, you will see price increases all the way through the end of the year. So that's one challenge. The slowdown of the world economy will make it difficult for Thai exports to export. So they have to consider the best possible ways to control the production costs, their overhead operations, and everything.
And how the Thai Chinese Chamber of Commerce would assist Thai exporters if they are facing challenges unpredictable challenges that may come this year? What will be your advice?
Well, Khun Narongsak has had the plan start from day one that he wanted to visit China and try to open up the markets, even at the provincial level, like Canton, Hainan, and all other important provinces. The Thai Chinese Chamber of Commerce is going into 112th year anniversary this year. And we have the Federation of Thai China's Chamber of Commerce and Business Associations of more than 60 associations within the Federation of Thai Chinese Chamber of Commerce. And we meet every 2 months to discuss the issues and try to open up the markets and discuss the problems and how to solve them. That's what Khun Narongsak has been pushing as the president. But he has yet to continue because of the COVID crisis. He cannot travel. We cannot travel to China. So without talking face to face, we had to depend on online communications, and it's effective to a degree, but it's not like the personal face to face sit down situation.
Okay, so right now, can we say that some Thai exporters may facing more unpredictable challenges this year, especially like commodity prices hike up and the COVID situation still not ending?
Yes. But we know, I think every Thai business corporation knows and realizes the situation. We have to be prepared. We have to be careful about the business investment to control the costs and to keep their own market share. So everything is already in the picture, but what we don't know is how bad and how serious it's gonna be. One thing,
So, yes.
if I we have what we call the World Chinese Entrepreneurs Convention, organized every 2 years. We have 3 member countries who founded the WCEC: Singapore, Hong Kong, and Thailand founded WCEC 31 years ago. And every 2 years, they host the event called WCEC. Next year, there will be 16th, it's going to be 16th WCEC hosted by Thailand. We, Kun Narongsak was just voted to be the chairman of the organizing committee and the host of the next WCEC. And we will have the overseas Chinese entrepreneurs and business Thai-Chinese corporations from all over the world for about 3,000. We forecast it to be around 3,000 delegates to come to Thailand next year in May. So that's also another event that will help we get
Thai
together.
exporters.
Yes, and that Thai businessmen can
Businessmen.
discuss. Yes, I think that would be a good opportunity as well because we have they come from all over the world: China, USA, Europe. So that's a big event. I've attended quite maybe 5 or 6 conventions before.
Okay, but for this year, okay,
Yes.
just embrace for the best and just be prepared for the unpredictable challenges to come. Okay, ค่ะ for today, thank you very much for joining our program ค่ะ คุณประสงค์ ค่ะ and that's all for today, Voice of the Nation. Stay tuned with us Monday to Friday, 8 to 8:30 p.m. for today สวัสดีค่ะ